Here is race number 10's details. It's by Cuckoo beating Golden 60, there you go. 1600 metre class 2, and it is the final race of the program. Butterfield, all wins have been over further. Excellent Proposal has the blinkers off and the cheek pieces going on. Keefe, a Class 1 winner last time, but carries 135 pounds. Savaquin makes an appearance at Sha Tin, more regular at Happy Valley of late. Five-time course and distance winner is All for St Paul's. Celestial Power's been racing well this season without winning, but hasn't been too far away. Beautyverse, third up, Packing Treadmill draws a gate. Find My Love has his second start, has trialled well. And Tianchi Monster, after running second last time at Happy Valley, comes back to Sha Tin and goes back up in grade. If you look at here, Tom, from a 4-year-old series perspective, horses like Keefe, Beautyverse headline the list.
Yep, they certainly do, Mark. And Keefe's stablemate likes to go forward. That is All for St Paul's, but he was actually slow away last time out, which was a little unusual for him, and he settled at the back. Packing Treadmill should be perfectly suited from barrier 1 this time round, Paul. And then you've got Keefe, who's got a sticky draw of barrier 13. And well, Beautyverse, he was a horse that raced back in Australia, but they opted to go forward first up, missed the start last time out, and then it went pear-shape after that.
It did, didn't it? So we'll see what they do, but I'm sure Zach wouldn't mind making it hard for Keefe to get across from his wide draw, especially with a stablemate that's leading. So we'll see where he ends up. The Rock's another one that could possibly take his position as well there as well, because he likes to go forward. Packing Treadmill, as you said, will get the perfect run, I think, in barrier number 1. Horses that get back, Excellent Proposal, Savaquin, California 10, and Find My Love has been going back in his races here and did go back in his races in the UK.
Well, Keefe may have to do it tough, and we'll find out right now how he's done since that last start win with his trainer, Frankie Law.
Frankie, it was a strong performance from Keefe last time out, obliterating a very good field in the Chevalier Cup. Were you surprised in the manner that he did that?
Yeah, I think he got a chance, but he win by feelings, a little bit surprised, yes.
What about the way that he settled into Hong Kong racing? It seems to have been fairly easy and fairly quick. Has he been a good horse to deal with?
Yeah, I hope so. Before last season, I was thinking about he should be solo for this season, that 4-year-old series, yes.
What's been the feedback from Derek and the riding boys after that last start victory, and what have you done with them since?
I just put Derek get up yesterday. He's had a good feeling for him, yeah.
He's got barrier 13, which is not ideal, and he's got the big weight to carry. Is he a horse that must go forward, or can you take a little bit of a sit with him?
I think depends by, usually he jump good. I think maybe we can, depends by, if you jump good, maybe we can go midfield, yeah. You know, big weight, a little bit difficult, yeah.
He's rated 100 now, so he's basically guaranteed a start in the 4-year-old series, so the mile coming up. But do you think he'll stretch out further?
I think a mile, 1800, still okay. 2000, but sometimes you don't know. Usually, if the horse good form, I think still can handle, yeah.
Safely through the weekend with him, do you give him another run before the Classic Mile, or will that be it, just a trial?
I think after this one, maybe give him one more trial and then straight to the Classic Mile, yeah.
You've got another couple of horses in the race as well. We know All for St Paul's, he likes to lead, and you've got Celestial Power as well. How are both of those horses?
Both horses still in good form. You know, All for St Paul's, usually he lead should be better, but last time he jumped a bit slow. But he still can come to get a third place, yeah. Still good, yeah.
And Celestial Power?
This horse, he always can have a very strong last quarter. I hope this time still he can be finished close. A little bit short the distance, but anyway, good form.
Frankie Law and his team there in race number 10. Tom, Keefe, there's no doubting the horse has immense ability, but horses like Beautyverse and Packing Treadmill get him a lot better at the weights.
Yeah, they do. And last time out it was a case of Keefe getting in better at the weights than Beautyverse was. It's going to be tougher, Paul, with the big weight here, but he beat up on a really good Chevalier Cup field, I thought, last start.
He did, didn't he? Yeah. Now, and that's put him up to that rating of 100. So he does have to carry the 135, barrier number 13 for him as well. That's the little query, but he's a class horse, and he's obviously going to be one of the favourites going to the 4-year-old series.
He has overcome wide draws before. He has one from barrier number 14. All right, we move on now to Happy Valley. And a couple of runners here. Savaquin, Paul, Not a regular at Sha Tin on a weekend, but he is this week, and the Rock is a 3-time winner, course and distance.
Yeah, look, he has won over the course and distance as well, Savaquin. It was a better run last time behind Spirited Express. Hit the line nicely, but I think this is a lot tougher.
Yeah, it is, and he has won course and distance in the past here, and he has been building to a win, but Zach Purton's off here, Antoine Hamblin's on, and Antoine had a winner midweek and just nutted there by Spirited Express. Would prefer him at Happy Valley.
We head to Sha Tin again for this replay, and it is Celestial Power. Tom, he runs fourth. There he is on the extreme outside there. He hasn't had a bad season. The only time that he didn't finish in the top 4 was in Group 3 company, and he's a horse that has won off a rating of 70 over the 1600.
He's got 4 wins next to his name, but at least 3 of them have been over 1800 metres, so he's probably looking for more of an 1800 metre trip here. Ran into Running Glory, who's going to go around midweek at Happy Valley, but he's put on a bit of weight since his last run as well, Paul.
Yeah, he has a little bit, hasn't he? Look, he finished off nice enough here for fourth, but again, I think this is a little bit harder as well, and I think you're right. I'd prefer him over 1800.
Packing treadmill, Paul. Barriers in his last 5 starts, 12, 11, 11, 10 and 11. He won't know what that white thing is on his inside at the start this week.
No, he's going to get the perfect run, isn't he, from Barrier 1. He's going so well, this horse, at the moment. He's another one that's heading into the 4-year-old series. And just from the inside draw, look, he's going to be really tough to beat. He probably will start favourite over Keithy in this contest. So, look, he's got to go in, doesn't he?
He was impressive, I thought, last time out. He had to cover a bit of ground, and in the end, it's the manner that he's done it late. The ears are pinned back. He's concentrating on what he had to do, and as Paul mentioned, he's just going to get the perfect run from barrier number 1, Hugh Bowman riding, because he's had some terrible barrier draws.
Off we go to Happy Valley again here, Tom. This is Tianchi Monster, start number 59 for the veteran here. He comes back up in grade from a wide draw.
And he took off sort of wide at the 800 metres, and I thought they just might have kept sort of pressing on with him, but he sort of ended up in no man's land after a bit of a nowhere move in the end, but he was beaten by one better, Paul, and it was nearly fine. He's been flying at Happy Valley. This is going to be tough for him, even though he's got the lightweight.
He's got the lightweight. I liked him this day as well, but look, he was again on the cusp here. I think this is a different kettle of fish, this race.
One more horse to talk about, and then one to watch too in the trial during this interview. Zach's going to talk about Beauty Verse and if he can bounce back after that disappointing run last time. And Paul's going to make a case for Find My Love, who you'll see during the interview with Zach and Tom.
Yeah, he got it all wrong, of course. He's a horse that has over-raced and done a few things wrong in his races in Australia, which is why they sort of allow him just to relax. But obviously after his first run, when Tony asked me to lead, it worked that day because we drew the outside and he was probably a length and a half, 2 lengths slow, but he was able to build his momentum up and roll to the front. But having drawn inside, it was always going to be a risk that the other horses were quicker and going to cross him. But Tony wanted me to squeeze him and have him up there, so when he was a little bit slow from the gate and I gave him the squeeze, it just set him alight. He wouldn't stop then, he got his head up and, it all went wrong. So I haven't spoke to Tony. I don't know what we do this time, but yeah, hopefully he can get it right.
Were you happy enough with his trial the other day? Because he did have to go back to the trials, didn't he?
He's no good on the dirt. Even prior to him racing, he trialled pretty ordinary on the dirt, so I wouldn't take a line through his trial.
I know you said you haven't discussed it with Tony yet, but he has gone back in his trials. That was his racing style in Australia as well. Is that maybe something you'd like to see this time, take a sit and ride him cold?
Well, the trial he dropped from a mile back to 1200 and he had the hood on, he was on the dirt, so he was never going to show any speed. So he did what he'd done in his earlier trials, so it's probably not a real indication on how he's going to race, but I'll just wait until Tony tells me what to do.
Zach Purton there. Tom, you can comment on Beauty Verse, and Paul, you can tell us why you like Find My Love in that trial. You can go first, Tom.
Well, I'd like to see them ride Beauty Verse cold, in all honesty, with what he had shown in Australia. So I hope they might try and roll the dice with that sort of tactic this time around, Paul.
There's been a lot of improvement from Find My Love from start 1 to this one, to start 2. I've really liked his track work leading into it, culminating in that trial. So I think he could be a chance at a big price.
All right. We need some selections, and he's on top.
Yeah, I'm going to put him on top at a big price. He's called Find in the UK. Did run second in the Jersey Stakes. He's on top, Packing Treadmill, Keithy, the main dangers, and Orvis and Bulls. Hopefully he jumps well. 13, 10, 3, 6.
Yeah, I like in this last race, Keefe, I'll stick with him being a fan right through. So 3 on top ahead of 10, Packing Treadmill, 9, Beauty Verse, and 13, Find My Love, certainly off that trial. 3, 10, 9, 13.
That is a look at race number 10.